All right, so let's be honest about what's happening right now. It is January and it's a new year, and some of you came in with some super hot goals ready to go. But the truth is, we pile on a lot, even from last year, that we didn't complete. And then by mid January, we're wondering, like, why is this year starting to feel like last year? And then you start to feel a little bit depleted and like you're getting behind. And sometimes that doubt might creep in, and now you're wondering, like, will this year actually be different? And for some of you, you started off with all this theme and now you're already exhausted, wondering if you're going to be able to maintain the pace and the goals that you set for yourself this year. So let's talk about that because, every year we say, this year is going to be different. This year is going to be new and exciting. But the problem is we set these huge goals, but we don't set up systems to support ourselves with these goals, right? And you're 3 times more likely to achieve a goal if you actually have a system around it. And some of you, you may not have seen my other videos, but let's take that New Year's list that you have of the 10 things you want to accomplish this year, and let's target it down to one. Let's make one thing your goal, one thing your focus, because if there's one thing I've learned from working with Fortune 500 companies and elite performers, it is that they have focus. Let's take that huge list of all the things that you were going to accomplish this year, and let's break it down to one thing that you can build a sustainable system around to focus on, right? This is how you're going to win in 2026 the smart way, not the hard way. What most people don't realize is that the whole New Year's resolution system is broken. And if you want more info on that, please check out some of my other videos where we talk about that. But it's not that you're not disciplined. It's just that the system and the way those goals are set is designed to help you fail faster, right? We don't want that. So how can you approach this year differently? That's what this video is about. Motivation fades, but strategy lasts. So it is not too late to shift your approach and absolutely kill it this year and win on so many levels. So what if instead of grinding your way through 2026, you could do it and build a better life this year strategically? What if instead of being frantic and rushing towards all these high pressure New Year's resolutions, you could just operate from a place of doing less, but still accomplishing more with clarity, energy, peace, relaxation, and wild productivity? What if you could get all those things together? You can. And it starts with this one principle that we're going to walk through. Here's the principle that changes everything. You don't get ahead by doing more. You get ahead by doing what matters with clarity, energy, intention, and focus. In my new book, Rest is the New Hustle, I have something called the rest framework. And rest isn't just about recovery, right? Rest is about how to get ahead in a sustainable way that you can actually maintain for the rest of the year, right? So let's talk about how you can apply this principle to make 2026 your best year yet. So the first step in the rest framework is R, right? R stands for reflect. And what I'm asking you to do for 2026 is pause before you push, right? I'm going to say that again. Pause before you push. We are coming out of the holiday season, which if you're in the Western American context has been proven to be one of the most stressful seasons. And the number one mistake people make is jumping from that busy holiday season and all those family dynamics and all that stuff right into the new year, but just because the calendar date changed. I'm asking you to stop and pause before you push and do something different. Okay, so most people are in January and they started and they're already going. They have not paused to reflect, right? So what I'm asking you to do is stop and ask yourself, look at your past year, right? What worked? What didn't work, right? Jot those things, write those things down. What are the lessons you learned? What are the things you never want to repeat again? What is the number one thing that if you accomplish this year would make your outcome radically different. Like pause to reflect and look at your life, because you can't change anything you don't stop to look at. And the mistake people make is just jumping into the new goals without reflecting on what worked and what didn't work from the previous year. But elite performers, they reflect. They get clear before they get busy. If you think about maybe your top NFL team or the world's best track and field runners or all these things, they look at the tape, right? They look at the tape. After every game, they're reflecting on the game. They're looking at the game day footage, what went well, what didn't well, how they can adjust for their next opponent. And so I need you to do the same thing for your life, right? Treat yourself like an elite NFL team or NBA team or something like that, and look at the tape, right? Go back to this year, go back to those texts, go back to your New Year's resolutions from last year. What happened, right? Why didn't you accomplish the goals you wanted? Or if you did, what worked? What succeeded? What do you want to continue to improve? What do you want to add more of in your life? This is what's going to make the difference between you starting 2026 the smart way or the hard way. So here's what to do this week right now. Number 1, review what's working and review what's not. Number 2, look at your commitment levels. Where are you undercommitted? Where were you overcommitted in the past year? And how can you adjust your schedule to make room for the new goals that you have for 2026? That's important. There may be some things that you need to remove off of your plate to be able to prioritize the change you want to make this year versus just adding to what you already currently have. Number 3, identify patterns, right? Look at the pattern of last year. Everything in life has patterns. If you think about it, there's day and night, right? There's, winter, spring, summer, fall, or some places there's the rainy season and the dry season, but everything in our life has patterns. Your life has patterns too. So I want to ask you, what are the patterns in 2025 that helped you? And what are the patterns in 2025 that hurt you, right? In your life, right? And what are the goals you can create to address that pattern? What is the system you can create to address those patterns that you don't want to keep and support the patterns you do want to keep? So where are you overcommitting? Where are you thriving? Be ruthlessly honest with yourself. Act like your own worst critic. Like look at the tape objectively from this past year and see what needs to change. And this isn't wasted time, right? Harvard research shows that people who take just 15 minutes to reflect have 23% more productivity. So by you taking time to pause before you push, you're actually increasing your productivity level a lot more than the people who just jump right in and just go, 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 go without any rhyme or reason, without looking at what worked and what didn't work. Even if you're already a few weeks in, taking time to pause will not hurt, and it's going to make sure you prevent months of wasted effort. It is never too late to pause and reflect. And that is what R stands for in the framework. Next step is E. E stands for energize, right? Energize. You want to approach this year not just off New Year's momentum, but off sustainable energy, genuine energy, right? So what happens is for a lot of people, like I said, December is a pretty exhausting time in general for a lot of people. So they start off January, maybe you started off January, pretty much running on fumes. And we don't want to do that. We need to find the things that energize you. And this is not just sleep, right? This is the activities, the things that make you feel alive, the people that support you. Have you ever done something and been like, man, I could have done that all day, right? That's an energizer for you. And we want to identify your energizers. And there's different types of ways to get energy. And I go through those in my book as well. But you want to find the things that bring you joy, that bring you life, and protect your energy like the asset it is. Like if you treated your energy like it was worth $1 million, how would your life be different right now? We need that because guess what? To achieve your new goal, it's going to take energy. Change is hard. As humans, we're wired sometimes to just stay the same. Change is hard. So you're going to need massive energy for your new goals in 2026. So we need to do an energy audit, and we need to look at how can you improve your energy and how can you do more of the things that bring you joy and bring you energy. I have 3 simple energy starters for you that are practical. Anybody can do them. You can start implementing them today. You can start implementing them this week. Number 1 is protect your sleep. Sleep is the miracle elixir for our minds. It resets our minds, it resets our bodies. We do our best thinking well rested. Science has shown this, right? So you need to approach 2026 with your best thinking. So I am begging you, prioritize your sleep, protect your sleep like it pays you, because it literally does. You cannot approach 2026 in the best way without sleep. And if you're like millions of people who struggle with sleep, get help. Just by you changing your sleep patterns, it's going to improve everything else. So that's number one, prioritize your sleep. Number two, take small breaks. I know it's going to be tempting to work for hours on end or just jump ahead, especially with the new year momentum. Force yourself to take small breaks. Even a 15-minute break can do wonders for your productivity after maybe 45 minutes or 90 minutes of working. So give yourself permission to take breaks. It's going to reset your body, it's going to reset your mind, and you're going to come with fresh ideas. Your brain needs some downtime to process, to create, to problem solve, and breaks allow you to do that. So, and the third thing is move your body daily. Even 10 minutes of movement resets your brain, resets your nervous system, and gives you fresh energy for the task at hand. Three things. Number one, protect your sleep. Get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep daily. Number two, take small breaks. Even when you don't think you need a break, take one. Take small breaks throughout the day as you're working. And then number three is move your body daily for at least 10 minutes. Just those three habits can help you move and sustain your energy in a whole new way. Neuroscience shows when you sleep and you're well rested, so your decisions are 40% better. So our brain, our frontal cortex that is responsible for our executive functioning and our decision making and all that stuff operates 40% better when we are rested than not, right? So that's almost half your brain power is better when you're rested. So if you're going to make 2026 complete in the smart way, not the hard way, rest has to be a priority there. And let's look at some examples. So let's take LeBron James, who's had like one of the most storied careers, right? He sleeps at least 8 to 10 hours a night religiously, essentially, because he understands the science and the importance of recovery. He spends over $10 million a year on recovery experts and sleep experts and all these things just to make sure that he can stay in prime condition, right? So he understands the importance of sleep. Now, you're not an NBA player, but treat yourself like an NBA player this year. Look at the tape, get the rest, get the recovery, take the breaks, study the film. All these things are going to help you. And that leads me to the next portion of our framework, which is S for strategize. So now that we've reflected, now that we've energized and protected our energy and got that up, we are going to strategize, right? So for 2026, what is the strategy that you need to put in place? So for strategize for 2026, I want you to focus on building systems, not goals, right? So goals by themselves depend on motivation. And 2026 for you is not about willpower and motivation. It's about systems that support what you're trying to do, no matter how you feel, right? That's the goal. You want to make not accomplishing your goal almost nearly impossible because you built so many systems around it to support it. So James Clear in his book, Atomic Habits, talks about this principle. It's called environmental design or environment design, right? And the goal is your surroundings shape your behavior more than your motivation does, is the principle here. Your surroundings shape your motivation more than your willpower, more than your individual I can do itness does, right? And so the goal is to create an environment that supports what you're trying to do. All right, so here are your practical actions for January or the beginning of the new year or whenever you're watching this video, all right? Number one is pick one priority. That's it, one. Okay, and the reason why you're going to pick one is not saying that there's not other things in life that are important or things you want to do, but pick one priority. The reason why is because you're going to build a system around it. So for example, if your goal is health, build a system around your food and your food intake. Stock up that kitchen with healthy things. Make it almost nearly impossible for you to grab anything unhealthy. Build an environment that supports what it is you're trying to do. If it's business, set up that workspace, set up that scheduling, meet with your team, Have people around you that hold you accountable. Maybe even a board of people you invite in to say, this is what I'm doing with my business. I'm going to have to report to you once a month on the updates, etc. Like, add these things in place to help get you going. Maybe join a network of other entrepreneurs who are going to be a source of motivation for you and encouragement and hold you accountable and say, hey, how did that thing go that you were telling me about last week, right? All of that's important. That's also a way to build a system. And if it's a rest, create routines. I'm talking alarms, I'm talking boundaries, I'm talking about workplace automated, response emails after you're off, if you receive an email after you're off. And we have tools to help you do that in our book bundle if work is something that you're struggling with as far as setting boundaries and for rest and routines. But whatever it is, pick one priority and build a system around it. So the main thing is, don't rely on motivation, build the system, schedule it, get the accountability person. If health is your thing, get the trainer, right? It's not even necessarily, it's been proven. It's not even necessarily trainers that are amazing. It's that you get held accountable, right, to another person. So that's an example of a people-based system, but there are other systems too. So you can use tech, you can use people, whatever it is, build that system around whatever your priority is for 2026. And the importance of focusing on one thing is twofold. So research shows that our decision making and our willpower is super limited. And so by choosing one thing instead of 10 or 17 for the new year, right? Choosing one thing, you allow yourself to focus your willpower on that area. And that's so important. So listen to me, friend, you're not going to willpower your way to success in 2026. You are going to design your way there. Okay, I'm going to say that again. You're not going to willpower your way through to success in 2026. You're going to design your way there. You're going to build a ramp for yourself that will take you there. All right. I live in Atlanta and we have one of the world's largest airports. I believe the busiest airport in the United States. The airport is huge. It's many, many miles. So you can try to willpower your way to walk from Terminal A to Terminal C, or you can get on the train. You can get on the escalator and get there faster, right? The train is an example of a system, right? And so, yes, somebody could have the willpower to manually walk through the Atlanta airport, but how often are they going to do that, right? Versus just being able to hop on the train. So like, that's an example of what I'm talking about. You want to build the on-ramp for whatever it is you're trying to do that will get you there. And that's going to take time and planning and intention and reflection on your part. All right. And then the last part of the system for you for 2026 is thrive, right? So success and redefining success. And what does success mean for you, right? The mistake people make in 2026 is that in the effort to succeed in motivation talk and all these things, right, we adopt other people's definition of success for our own. But really take time to reflect on your values. What matters the most to you? Design goals and systems around that, because the other stuff, that if it doesn't matter to you, then it doesn't matter, right? So don't just accept other people's version of success. Decide what version you want to live and focus on building that picture. Now, for me, I want to encourage you that success for you in 2026 doesn't just look like more money or less weight or anything like that. I believe success for you in 2026 should be aligned with your values, but no matter what those values are, it should look like results plus peace plus health plus strong relationships. Any one of those that's missing, you're just losing expensively. If you get more money, but your health suffers, you've lost. If you get more business, but your relationships suffer, you've lost, right? So thriving looks like creating a life for you that allows you to engage with the people and the places and the things that matter to you the most in the healthiest state possible. And that's what I want for you for 2026. So my goal for you is to think through what thriving looks like for you this year. So I want you to ask yourself these questions. Number one, what does 2026 look like for me? From a peace standpoint, what would make me feel the most successful? Not anybody else, but me. What would make 2026 feel successful to me? Or in this case, what would make 2026 feel most successful to you, right? What do you want to feel more of in 2026? What do you want to feel less of in 2026? Right? Ask yourself those questions. For example, in 2026, do you want to feel more peace, more purpose, more joy, more energy? In 2026, do you want to feel less anxiety, fear, hesitation. For example, take time to sit with the feeling and how you are going to approach 2026 from a thriving place. So studies show that people who define success on their own terms are 60% more likely to feel fulfilled. So if you adopt somebody else's definition, you may not meet it. But if you adopt your own, you're way more likely to meet it, which is why this step is so important. So in sum, to start 2026 the right way, you're going to do three things, okay? Three things. Number one, you're going to pick your primary priority. The one thing, all right? The one thing you care about the most, all right? You're going to reflect on that. You're going to take time to pause before you push, and you're going to pick your number one priority. Number two, you are going to prioritize your energy because you're going to need energy to reach this goal this year and not end it exhausted and feeling behind. So what do you need to do that? You're going to focus on that. You're going to stop treating rest like it's a luxury. It's not. It's your foundation for everything else. So what are you saying yes to that you should release, right? Anything on your life that you need to release, focus on releasing that this time of year so you make space and energy for the things that you care about the most. You're going to clear the mental clutter so you can walk forward with more clarity. And then number three, step three, you're going to build your systems this month. You are not playing. You are building so many on-ramps to that one goal. There's no way you won't hit it, right? You're going to approach it from multiple angles, the same way the military would, right? Think through all the scenarios and build that system to reach that goal. You're going to design your environment around it so you're not depending on willpower. You're not depending on motivation. You have a system and you have an environment and you're surrounded by things that support what you want to do. Make it so easy you can't fail. And I promise you, if you do these three things in January, you're going to be far ahead of everyone else. So now if you're thinking, okay, this makes sense, but I want the complete blueprint because this was a lot that we just talked through, I've got you. No worries, okay? No worries. Check out my book, Rest is the New Hustle, a blueprint for thriving without burnout. Why doing more is keeping you stuck and how to break free. I break all this down. You go step by step through the framework. There's the reflection questions. There's action steps in there. Everything you need to apply this to your life. And we have it in paperback, ebook, audiobook. If you're an audiobook listener, I personally love the audiobook as well. So please check that out. And we have all the tools needed to support you. And if you want to take the principles in the book one step further, we have what's called the Rest Book Bundle. Has a ton of other things to help you implement the principles in the book so you can get started right away. The worksheets, the energy audit, finding out your best ways to energize, finding out your best ways to recover, all these things, strategies to create boundaries at work so you can make more time to do what you want to do, whether it's spending time with your family or building that business, strategies to help you communicate your boundaries better. Everything you need to succeed with this rest framework is in this book bundle. I encourage you to check it out at restbookbundle.com. Link is also in the description below. And this entire bundle is valued at about $785 right now. For the new year, it is available for $97. So you cannot beat it. You're going to get all the practical tools you need to apply this framework to your life and be wildly successful this year. It's still early. You still have time to make this shift. I believe 2026 can be your best year ever. I believe you can finish this year, accomplish your goals, and not burn yourself out or destroy yourself out in the process. I believe you can finish this year so energized, so excited, so proud, and not worn out, wondering, oh, another year, repeating the same cycle. I believe this for you. I believe you can do it. We're giving you some great tools in the description below to help support you, but you got this, right? Regardless, you got this, but you have a choice. You can do things the old way. You can pile on all these expectations before taking time to pause, look at your life, reflect, energize, strategize, and thrive. You have a choice. You can do that. And I'm sorry to say that if you do that, you're probably going to be one of the 92% of people who give up on their New Year's resolutions by March. Or you can be one of the people that knows how to succeed without burnout, right? And so I want that for you. Check out the descriptions in the link below for the book bundle. Take action, take massive action. Re-listen to this video about 2 to 3 more times in case you missed something. Take notes on those questions I was telling you. And I look forward to hearing your success story about how this was your best year yet and you were able to succeed the smart way. See you in the next one.